We are in the presence of the artist, the second artist of JournALL, and he is Derick Smith, and he is the artist of Ostracon. And I just wanted to ask you something about this work and about the experience of this quarantine at this time and the social distance and the response of your work at this time.
Okay, so the work itself came from, I'm currently in a period of research where I'm experimenting with different materials, and I started to work with clay as something that's quite a primitive material, but it's a very expressive material. So I had been working for a couple of months before lockdown happened or before quarantine happened, and with different kinds of experiments, I found that a lot of them didn't work. The material is new to me, and spent a lot of time with the tolerances of the material and understanding how it would dry and how it would cure and everything. So I ended up with a lot of fragments, with a lot of pieces which came from a larger piece. And the pieces themselves, they're quite evocative. They definitely suggest something larger. And it's sort of curious to try to guess or to try to understand what that larger piece was. So in this sense, I felt that they have a kind of a quality or a kind of a presence. And the piece itself then was to present them in this way, to allow them to breathe and to allow them to stand alone as these individual fragments, but also to represent a larger union. And so for this work, the title connected in with that idea of perhaps from archaeology or so something like where you have a fragment that's representative of a larger whole. And so that was kind of the idea. That was where it came from, and I just tried to present it in the way that was the most elegant or the simplest way to try to evoke this quality. So
yeah, Ostracon is really for me was really good title, exactly the right title for that piece and for that work, with a lot of meanings that they come from the history of art and from the Greek. So it's really good work. And now I just wanted to ask you what has changed so in your practice in last month.
Okay. Well, immediately, practically speaking, I was working towards a solo exhibition, and it's been shelved indefinitely. I think I'm not sure when that will happen again. So in general, I find that I have a much more intense focus because I understand the preciousness of the time I have here. Being on lockdown meant that I sort of overextended a stay where my studio space sort of like developed into something different. I had planned to return to my own studio. So basically it means that being aware of the sort of preciousness of the time here, it's given me much more of a clearer focus that I would like to sort of harness this uncertainty and harness this energy to put it into the work, to produce something. And it's not necessarily about producing, but to process this energy somehow. In the beginning, I was certainly caught up in the uncertainty. I felt that I need to pack away this studio. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. But then conversely, I felt, well, now is exactly the time I need to work. I need to process and to stay present to what's happening. And so for that reason, the studio became a place to process this energy, this uncertainty, and to try to harness it somehow, to give it some shape or some form as a means to move forward and to digest what's happening.
So really, thank you for your response and especially for having hosted just this interview in your studio, because now this is where you are working. So thanks a lot, and see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Nice to talk to you.